All of these wonderful things that where white people wouldn't allow anti-white, what we would refer to as anti-white media, wouldn't allow external influence, a bunch of life is beautiful, life is great. And then anthropomorphization. National Socialism does this for you. That's why I hit the point so hard earlier in our roll-in today. You cannot think clearly. You destroy lucidity when you anthropomorphize things like ideas and you give them human characteristics. What does the average midwit hear when National Socialism does all of these things for you? He just literally just said it. That something else, someone else will do this. Someone else, something else will accomplish all these things. And all Joel is asking you to do is to play the villain and own him as your liege, play the villain in your lives, and then this other thing will make all of this good happen for you. What is this? Beyond the fact that is rank midwit slop. That is not, he could do all of the reading of history and quote and from history and talk about different events, talk about different philosophers. He could do all of that. And it is just a display of recently learned information. Nothing more than that. The moment you are anthropomorphizing these things, you're demonstrating that you are a midwit. So let's, aside from that enormous error, that elephantine error, aside from that, what is National Socialism? Well, it's a collection of ideas that even the people who admire it to whatever degree or agree with it to whatever degree have different notions of. They disagree. They're at odds. There are arguments. There are fights over what exactly it is among the people who believe in it, who favor it to various degrees. So you're telling me that a collection of ideas that, by way of the people who endorse it, they disagree over many, they don't understand the vast majority of it. How many people who talk about or answer the question of what is National Socialism only know a fraction of a percent of it, 5% of it, 15% of it. But that thing that is in dispute among the people who endorse it and that thing that is ignorantly understood by its endorsers, that thing is going to save you? How about this? Take it a step further. The tens of millions of white people out there in the world, what do they know about Nazism, National Socialism? What do they know about what it means, what it leads to? The actionable definitions in their heads. And more importantly, the attendant feelings and emotions that are connected to those ideas that they were instilled, poisoned with by way of news and entertainment media and educational media, indoctrination, edutainment. What do they know? Well, it's pure evil. It's pure evil. So to the tens of millions, hundreds of millions of white people, National Socialism is pure evil. That's all it's very simple for them. But among the tiny group who agree that they like it or they think it's good, it's ill understood and there's much contention. But that thing that isn't an entity, that isn't a person, is going to save us. I cannot believe that I have to spend any time on such stupidity. The fact that I have to spend any time on such stupidity, and the fact that you get these kind of votes that vote in Gypsy Crusader and Nick Fuentes, Kanye West, as the leaders is evidence that there's something wrong with the vast majority of whites. There's something seriously wrong with the vast majority of white people that turn to alternative arguments and solutions, or at least prescriptions, in their rejection of the conservatives or what have you. There's something wrong with them. This should be very easy for the average white person to look at the arguments that Joel is making and say, this is claptrap. This is nonsense. Now, where is there something that's legitimate? I want you to hear it again.
National quality for power to totally crush the enemies of your people and instantiate a positive project for basically developing the blood and quality of the race of your nation in very explicit terms.
Mm-hmm.
National Socialism does this. National Socialism also has a intense realism about human nature and the human condition.
So National Socialism has an intense realization. It's thinking. Let me go ahead and jump in with what we do. What I figured out decades ago. When you empower white people with concepts that take them out of the anti-white narrative and thereby put them in our story where we're the heroes and we are moral, and in their lives, in their contexts, in their homes, in their states, in their countries, are arguing for our well-being against our victimization by objecting to that victimization on the basis of our birth. When you have white people doing that everywhere, solutions will occur to them that are relevant, that are pertinent, and that will work in each of those contexts. You cannot prescribe the brightest AI that any science fiction writer could ever imagine, could not find a single solution, solution for your family, a single solution for your neighbors, a single solution for your county government, for your Boy Scout troop, which doesn't even exist anymore, for your state governments or your province governments or your national governments. No. You know, one of the brilliant things that the German military did? One of the brilliant things that they did was that they gave power to the commanders on the ground. They gave them an objective. This is what all of the other militaries weren't doing. They said, here's your objective. Here's how we would like it to be carried out. But you make the decisions based on the context, based on the lay of the land at that moment, based on where the enemy is at that moment. As a consequence, the German military could move with great speed, whereas all of the other militaries had to relay what was happening up to high command. It is sheer genius to empower our people with the tools they need so that they can come to the derivatives in thought that are the only derivatives possible by way of the antecedents. And then in the environments where they are, find the solutions. What does that mean? Here's what it means. Some of the solutions at different points in time and at different levels could very well incorporate elements that some could argue would fall under a nationalist rubric, that some could argue would fall under a socialist rubric. And they will implement those strategies at that moment, at the right time, to arrest our victimization. And they won't have to identify with anything previously demonized to do so. I cannot believe that I have to contend with fucking absolute Jim Henson Muppets